Story time on the craziest girl at my high school. And I don't mean fun crazy. I know you guys have been waiting for the story times, and I'm finally all done with high school. So I'm gonna start doing like one really good one a week. I'm only gonna tell these stories from my personal experience. I don't want to spread like any false information, any false rumors. So if I don't know, I won't be sharing the information. But what I do know is that this girl came to our high school. I forget which year, but she came to our high school. She was all the rave. She was super pretty. She seemed to be super nice. I think I know why she came to our school, but I'm not for sure, so I'm not gonna say it. I never really had a big run-in with her until my best friend at the time started dating her ex. I always have heard things because she went through a lot of friend groups, and there was just always some kind of drama attached to that, you know? So anyway, my best friend starts dating her ex. They broke up. She said she didn't cheat. He said she did. She said, I don't know what's true, but basically he meets my best friend, and when I tell you, these two together are the perfect couple, I can't even explain. Like, they're so in love, they're gonna get married. If they don't, I don't believe in love. This girl also gets a boyfriend around the same time. They're both moved on. Great. No, not great, because she's not. She keeps finding ways to text her ex, which is now my best friend's boyfriend, so you know, it's unsettling. They're a happy couple. Leave them alone. He never answers her. He keeps blocking her. Eventually gets to the point where she literally is texting him through her friend's phone. She like sent him a song that like reminded her of him. I'm just like, what? You have a boyfriend. I remember my friend showing me like a DM where she was like, my mom saw you driving today. I was thinking of you. Like, what are you doing? Anyway, it gets to the point where she literally texts him through her friend's phone and is kind of like blackmailing him to talk to her in a way. I'm not going to say why, you know, those are her reasons. That's not for me to talk about on the internet. And my best friend is hanging out with her boyfriend. So, you know, she stands on business and is like, look, if you need to talk to him, like, I'll be right here on the phone with him, but you can call if you need. So the girl's like, never mind. So it's just kind of at a point where, you know, she has a boyfriend. She shouldn't be texting her ex. So this is where I come in. I'm very good at confrontation. I'm also very good with my words. So me and my best friend sit down and we type a long letter for her that's very nice and direct. It wasn't mean whatsoever. The worst part was the end where we were just like, look, if you need help from your ex, we're gonna have to screenshot these texts and send them to your boyfriend because what is going on? She reads the text, but she doesn't answer it. And of course we go to school that week and hear that my best friend apparently sent her some mean text. Obviously no one believed this because, you know, my best friend at the time is so problematic. Literally, no one batted an eye when she said something. No, it goes mute for a while, and then we're at the point where my best friend's boyfriend needs his clothes back from this girl. So my friend texts her the first time and asks, and she's just like, well, why doesn't my ex pick it up? Then my best friend fought back and said he doesn't want to waste the gas. So she pulls the I'm not home right now, which is fine. So my best friend texts again and asks for the clothes again, and just saying that she'll swing by to grab them if you leave them on the front porch. Swings by, no one's there. She doesn't get out of her car. There was really no response, so she just kind of went on with her life. And the girl then said she gave away all of his stuff, which didn't make sense for reasons, but I don't want to get the story wrong, so we're just gonna continue. Anyway, this girl's mom ends up texting the girl's ex's, my best friend's boyfriend, and the whole thing is kind of complicated, basically saying that my best friend and her boyfriend's little sister were like harassing this girl. Just everyone knows that that's not true. This girl's mom also called my best friend a horse. Like, what? Sorry, but if you are over the age of 30 and you need to talk crap about high school girls, what are you doing? Her mom has literally made so many girls feel bad about themselves, like almost bullied out of friend groups. Like, I know this is a fact for sure because I have witnessed it. But regardless of the fact, this whole thing just goes on for way too long. And I'm like walking in the hallway behind her and she just doesn't care about who's around her, I guess, because I just hear her talking about this whole scenario completely wrong. Like, she's telling the story. Oh, I messed up on those. Telling the story so wrong and calling my best friend a fan. My best friend doesn't even say this girl's name, let alone act like a fan. And I made a story time about that whole kind of interaction as well, but I've been very careful about the story times that I share because I did it once to this other girl. Actually, that girl might top craziest chick. I don't even know. I'm not gonna say that because that's mean, but I did do like a story time about homecoming drama, and she made it seem like I was bullying her because I was calling out all the bullying I went through being her friend. Like, what? That'll be another story time. I just don't understand. I'm trying to do these as graceful as possible because, you know, like, I'm not a mean person. I don't like to talk bad about people, but I'm not afraid to spill the truth. And like, right out of high school, no one probably knows who I'm talking about, but basically this whole encounter with this girl lasted like a year and a half, I swear. It's like she forgot me and my best friend at the time literally like lived through each other. Like, everything I knew, she knew. Like, it was like our lives were one, you know? So pretty much the craziest part of all that was just the fact that she still had a boyfriend. It's one thing if you're still hung up on your ex and like you miss him and are trying to ruin someone's relationship, but you have a boyfriend. And there's been other weird allegations with that relationship, but that's not for me to talk on. But I'm ready to go. I actually really like my makeup today. I think it looks super cute and summery. So I hope you guys have a great day. There's a little story time for you guys. I hope you like it. Peace out. Love you. Bye.
Get ready with me while I tell you a story about how a rumour went around about me that ruined my whole high school experience. Please ignore the flash of the lights, they're really bad. So basically, I went to a school from year 7 till about the start of year 9, and throughout all that time, I was getting bullied. Just people like hating on me, and just people didn't like me. So I was speaking to my mum about me wanting to move schools, so I did. Little did I know, the bullying would have been worse at my new school. So I joined this school around halfway through year 9, and I still don't regret moving there because I met my best friend and I met loads of nice people. So basically, I met this girl. I'm not gonna name names. I'm friends with her now. It wasn't like she didn't do it intentionally, but yeah, I'm still friends with her now, and obviously I'm not gonna name names. But I met this girl and I was in iMedia with her. So yeah, we was in iMedia together. We were sat next to each other, and we had our favourite teacher, and obviously it was fine. We sat next to each other. We were just talking and doing our work. And then she starts asking me weird questions, like random questions, but I didn't think anything of it because it was just her personality. She was a bit strange, but it was just her. It was just how she was, right? But yeah, she started asking me questions, and the questions were like, they were really random. So I'm going to give you an example of the type of ones that she'd ask me. So she was asking me like, how big are crabs? Like, not the animal, well, I don't even know if they are an animal. Not the animal, like, if you know, you know. And she was like, what's bigger, is it crabs or nicks? And I was like, I was answering all of her questions, and I was like giving her advice about things that she didn't like know. But yeah, the conversation was just going on, and I was answering her questions and all this stuff. And then obviously the crab question, I was answering, and she shouted out, she went, did you just say you've got crabs? And I was just thinking in my head, I was like, for God's sake, everyone has just heard that. Everyone's just heard it, and now that's going to go round, and it's just going to... Because you know what school's like, one person hears things and the rest, you know, the whole school knows. And so I was just thinking in my head, God, my life's over and all this stuff. But I was just hoping that like no one actually like cared, and like that no one heard. But with my luck, of course they heard her. From then on, it was just lads and lasses coming up to me, like shouting crabs at me and just saying, you've got crabs, and then, yeah. And the crabs story never left my side until the end of school, and yeah. My whole school life, people were just shouting at me, you've got crabs, and it was awful. I don't even know if I'm going to post this because I want that out of my life. I don't want to hear those words again towards me, but, you know, it's a story time, and... yeah. Thank you for watching though, guys. I know it's a bit of a long one, but that's my story time, and yeah. If anyone from my school is watching this, I'm not like starting anything, it's just a story time, and yeah, it's just high school, yeah. Thank you for watching. If this is on your For You page, please drop me a follow. I love you guys, bye.
Get ready with me while I do a story time on how I found out my old substitute teacher that got arrested for following girls after school and giving them alcohol was following me on social media. I don't really know if I should be talking about this on the internet, but I'm going to anyways because this is a good one. This was in 8th grade, just to preface. This was kind of a long time ago, but I never shared this story on here, and I definitely want to. Just to start out, like, I really only had this substitute teacher like once or twice. I'd say more like 3 times, but it was like, he was so weird. And I know he was only like following me on social media, but for any teacher to follow a student on social media is like weird in the first place, but he was only my sub and he was super creepy. So this guy, he came to my school, and I have a lot of respect for like people in the military and such, and he told me that he was a retired military person, and he had said that he got like shot in the head or something, and so he had like some sort of like mental problems. I don't exactly remember what he said, but something along those lines. And as someone who like has a lot of respect for those type of people, I was like, oh my gosh, like that's why he's like a little weird. Like, I don't know, I didn't really think much of it, and he was definitely creepy, but I was like, he's in the military, like I respect him, so it just went right over my head. And I, again, only had this sub like 2-3 times, so honestly, like life just went on. Like I never really thought of this guy, but he was subbing for this other teacher in a different grade. I was in 8th grade, so I think it was 7th graders at the time. And this is when things started to get a little bit weird. Honestly, I had no idea he was even still working for the school at this time. But I just remember being told, like, you remember that sub? Like, apparently he was following girls after school. I'm not exactly sure the details, so if you went to my middle school and I'm telling the story wrong, I'm sorry, I don't know. I'm just telling you how I remember it. And something along the lines of buying people, like, something, alcohol, I don't know, I'm not exactly sure, because I was like not involved in that part. But a few months go by and I'm in a freshman year of high school, so it has been a hot minute since this guy had even seen me. And one of like this guys that I went to middle school with, he texted me on Snapchat and is like, did you know this teacher's following you? And I was like, what? No. Guys, if I knew this person was following me, I would have blocked him a long time ago, especially considering that he probably followed me months ago. And on this account, I don't really ever know who follows me unless like I just happen to see it, because when you're getting a lot of notifications, they don't notify you for everything that happens. So I had no idea that this guy was even following me until someone pointed it out. And he was only following like 2 other girls from my school, so the fact that he even remembered me is like so creepy. So I just immediately blocked this guy and told my mom, and she even ended up calling the school to make sure he wasn't working there, because so creepy. And turns out he was also following me on Instagram. So, but yeah, that's pretty much the end of the story. Nothing really happened from there, thank goodness. But let me tell you, this guy's like Instagram was creepy. He had like pictures of him standing in his room holding like a bottle of alcohol. Not sure why. And it was like one of those accounts with like 2 followers and a creepy profile picture of an old man. So, but yeah, that's the end of the story. So that's all. Bye, guys.
Story time of when my entire friend group fell apart in literally one day. Okay, so this was 2 years ago. So I hosted a Friendsgiving at my house, and this one guy decided to break up with his girlfriend at my party. I'm pretty sure he broke up with her outside. So she came back in and she started crying, and she ran up to my room, and I let her stay there obviously because she just got broken up with. But it's like, why are you breaking up with people at a literal gathering? That's really weird. So we were all inside my garage, like doing workouts and stuff, because we were just doing like whatever. He comes back in and he's like, guys, I have something to tell you. And so we were all having fun, so we stopped and we looked at him and we're like, okay, what do you have to tell us? And he was like, I'm moving away to Japan in 2 months. So we were all like, what the hell? And that instantly killed the mood, obviously. We were really sad that our friend was gonna move away in 2 months, which sucked. Okay, I do not remember the timeline of these events, but I just remember when we started eating, it was really, really awkward. And then at this point, while the girls upstairs and the guys downstairs, people are starting to choose sides. Some of the girls are like talking about the girl downstairs with the guy, and like some of us were talking about the guy upstairs. But I was the party host, so I was just like up and down, up and down. So then the girl leaves and she says something like, I can't remember exactly what she said, but she said like, I hope you had fun, or like, I hope you something, like I hope something. And then as soon as she left, the guy started making fun of her, and it was just a really dramatic like moment. I really don't know how else to explain it. So then since we find out my friend is gonna move to Japan, we're like, okay, let's hang out a little more since you're gonna move away and we're never gonna see you again. So me, my friend, and him decide to hang out at the mall the next day, and that's when things go down. Like the things that I witnessed, that's when like
the other half of the friend group like went down in flames. I'm running late for school, so let me know if you guys want a part 2.
Hey guys, get ready with me for school while I tell you a juicy story about what happened yesterday at school. Well, also, you know how yesterday I was like, yeah, I want to get a good time on my mile? Well, me and my friend just walked the whole so that didn't really go. Okay, story time about what happened yesterday. So basically, me and my friends had to sit in a new area at lunch, like not our usual lunch table. And one of my friends saw this like thing that like on TikTok that like you fill up a Ziploc bag with like air and then you like stick something in it and then you go like that and it like shoots out really far. So obviously we wanted to try that, but we did it with a watermelon. So when we did it with a watermelon, it like hit this guy and then he's like, oh, they hit me with a watermelon, but it was like a joke. And then we did it again and we aimed it to like the wood chips area, but it went so far, it went like 20 feet. So it was crazy. And then we hear the TA going like, girls, no, this is like unacceptable. You already did this like 2 times and now you're doing it again. And we're like, bro. And yeah, she's just like, this is like so disrespectful to like people, like you can't be doing that and yeah, you need to stop. So yeah, she's just telling us to stop and stuff. And then one of my friends are like, this ends now. And then she's like, no, inappropriate. And we're like, what? Okay, so basically after they told us to stop, we literally stopped. We also made some remarks, but we were like joking about it. I don't even know. And then I just like go on with my day and I'm in science. And then one of the TAs is like, Mika, you have to come with me. And I'm like, bro, I already know what this is. And then I go with her and then I see the 2 TAs and my principal. And this is like my 4th time going in his office. Within the past 2 weeks, I've been in his office 3 times. And it's not because I'm a bad kid, because I'm literally such a good kid. It's just because we get in trouble for the most stupidest thing. Anyway, he just tells me to like say sorry to the TAs. And I like couldn't hold in my laughter because he's like, well, how do you find enjoyment of like throwing food at people? I'm like, bro, what? We were catapulting watermelon. Okay, so I'm gonna do my face makeup in the car. So yeah, and apparently they made a big like Google Doc about all the things like we said. All the things we said to. So yeah, now we have lunch attention on Monday. Again. And he's sending an email to my parents, but I already explained it to my parents. The only person who's mad at me is my dad, but my mom's like, she laughed when I told her. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, that's it to the story. And then now we're like getting in big trouble for it. Love it. So since we've like already gotten in trouble because of like what we do at lunch, we just literally just have fun and mess around. Our next time is gonna be suspension. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Storytime about the time I overheard my French teacher talking crap about me with another teacher on the phone. First things first, background information. So basically, I had been taking French 2 for like half the year now, and I was honestly struggling in it just because the teacher I had this year for French 2 was so hard. And this is my sophomore year I'm talking about, which is last year. So she was really hard in grading. We all had a great first year French teacher, which I don't want to say wasn't the case, but it's just like our teacher wasn't as hard on us, so we all passed based on the fact that we were trying, not that we were great at French. Now that I'm looking back at it, she was always kind of weird towards me, and she always had favorites. Like, it was really obvious who her favorites were, and it was always the kids that were doing the best in the class but behaved. Let's get into the day everything went down, and the day I literally heard her talking crap about me on the phone. So my teacher decides that if you're not passing the term grade, that you're going to get an email to your parents.
By the way, the only reason I wasn't passing my term grade is because I forgot to turn in one assignment, and it was bringing my grade down so freaking low. And then I expressed to her that I was going to redo it in school that day.
And I wasn't passing the term grade, but I was passing overall semester. I do remember that. I then also taught her that I'll go make it up in my French 1 teacher's classroom, which is like a lady I was kind of close to because she was my French 1 teacher. And now the lady that I'm having a problem with is my French 2 teacher. After the bell rings, I go to my French 1 teacher's classroom and tell her that I'm going to work on this assignment in her classroom, and I go get all the supplies. After I get all the supplies for the video, I get back to my French 1 teacher's class to start making the video, and that's when she told me to shh because she was getting a phone call. That phone call was from my French 2 teacher. My French 2 teacher begins the conversation being like, heads up, just know Macy's like coming to you for lunch. Like, ugh. And she's basically just like ranting about me even being able to go to her. Like, girl, grow up. Next thing she starts talking about is like, I don't know why she just didn't complete the assignment in the first place, this and that. Like, she's just always doing something else. First things first, I have talked to you multiple times about me struggling in your class and me trying to keep up. And I can hear this whole entire conversation, like the whole entire thing as I'm standing there. And then she was like, oh, she just never wants to get her work done in class, basically ranting about me. and just kept going and kept going and kept going. And I don't remember every single thing she said. Don't get me wrong, she didn't say the nastiest thing about me, but it's just the fact that you called another teacher to gossip about a student. And this was definitely not the first time because she felt so comfortable doing it. And I have a feeling both teachers had gossip about me before in the past, or just gossip about students in general. But I was like, dang, first of all, y'all are weird. Second of all, I felt so bad about myself in the moment because it's like, you don't even know like what I'm going through. You don't know why I'm struggling. You don't know if like this is me literally trying my best. Yet you're talking about me on the phone with another teacher instead of pulling me aside in class, or pulling me aside and just talking to me about it to my face. I don't think it's the worst thing ever, the worst conversation ever to be had about a student, but I do think it was incredibly inappropriate, and I'm glad I overheard it, because now like I always keep that at the back of my mind anytime I talk to her, even to this day, now that I'm a junior. And I'm gonna be honest, she still gives weird energy. By the way, whether I pass the class or not, she still emailed my mother. Okay, this is the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope everyone has a blessed day, and yeah.
Get ready with me while I tell you how I had a criminal living under my house in the sewer. I swear this sounds like a joke, but you cannot make this shit up. Oh. So basically, on this specific day, I was actually dying, and I thought that I had to get my appendix out because I was literally like hunched over in pain, and I was like 12, and I just had gas. But my mom literally took me to the hospital because we literally thought I was dying, like, dramatic ass bitch. And then we got to the hospital, of course, I felt better as soon as we get there. So we look on the news, and they're like, breaking news, there is a robber, an armed robber in my old town, I'm not gonna say it. And I was like, hold the fuck on, like, do we need to stay where, like, put? Like, what is going on? Like, I feel like we should stay here. My mom was like, no, it's fine, we should go home. We go home, he's literally popping out of the sewers. My sister's like getting off the train because we used to take the train to school, and he's just popping out of the fucking sewers, like shit on him and everything. Like, this man was living in the sewers. The funniest part of this is I was getting out of the car, like we were parking the garage, and my garage like opened on its own, and I literally screamed. I ran down the driveway screaming that the robber was like in our house, and it turns out it was just like my dog, like, because like he was outside in, like the movement thing. But like, you don't understand, like I was on the go, I was on the move. I was like going inside, like shutting all the windows, like locking up my stuffed animals. Like, I was so serious about this. When they said he was armed, I'm pretty sure he had like a shovel. There was police like running up and down the streets. Like, this was a movie. I found something sticky. Mr. Robber literally, like, he was trying to escape to go to a different town to rob a different town. And I guess, like, he forgot a car or something because he just got on the train. And, like, I think he was wearing, like, a paper bag over his head, but he made it a little too obvious because they caught him. I obviously was, like, really happy that he got caught, but, like, I was a little, like, scared for the level of stupidity that he had. Anyway, yeah, so thank God I'm alive. I love you guys.